either father or husband or brother or whomsoever it is. Now these special powers in a woman, she should understand it. She should develop it. And that doesn't mean that she should be meek. I am not suggesting that. If there is a need, as Sharda Ma's incident is there, she was so soft, so silent, that Sister Nivedita used to tell that even to talk about her is making noise. You know, she is like a silent Ganges flowing, silent garden breeze flowing. And yet, when once in Kamarpukur, one man, he entered with wrong intentions. Like a Kali, she sat on him. So both these powers are required. But mainly we are to nurture, to connect the things, to keep the things. And therefore, we have to develop this subtle power, this power which creates, which nurtures. And that is a great challenge today in front of us. Many times when I talk in women forum and I tell these ideas, the women ask me, why do you tell only us that we should sacrifice? Then I tell no. The sacrifice, that is the tyaga, the atmasayam, is ideal for men and women both. But the way a woman should deal with the situation is different than a man generally deals. And that is what a woman has to understand. If we want to keep our family together, then I tell them that, do you know, today in management, you must have heard a concept called as servant leadership. They say you can really lead the people by serving them, by loving them, by being subservient to them, by bringing out their best to the fore, to the front. You can really lead them. Servant leadership. For top CEOs, the management workshops are conducted, how to develop the servant leadership. And in our country, the women already had developed this servant leadership. They had this. And that is how they manage the homes so well. But I don't say that it means a woman should only manage home. That freedom should be left to woman. If she wants to be housewife, happily she should be a full-time mother in a family. And she should not feel degraded for that. Because that is also a great job she is doing. She is leading the house by servant leadership. If she wants, I will take care of home and I want to work also, even that freedom she must have in the society. But where she goes for work, there again, it is her these great motherly qualities which brings harmony, which connects, which nurtures, which creates a higher atmosphere. That is what she has to create. And that is the challenge in front of the women of India. And in front of the men also. So when we talk of empowerment, I always ask the men this question. Sometimes in some workshops and all, they say we have to empower the women. Who are you to empower the power? She herself is power. And who are you to empower her? What do you mean by you want to empower? Then I quote this Swami Vivekananda's incident. Somebody went to Swamiji and asked, Swamiji, what do you think? Because in those days widows could not remarry in certain caste. So they went and asked, what do you think? Whether the widow should remarry or not? You know what Swamiji answered? He told, hands off. Who are you and me to decide whether a widow should remarry or not? Leave it to a widow. The women are capable to decide. You have put bars, obstacles in their education, just remove that. She is capable, she is Jagat Janani herself, she will take her own decisions and that is right for her. You and me cannot decide. So this condescending attitude that we will decide what is right for women was never there in Swami Vivekananda's life. He said the women of India are capable. So that is what we have to respect the motherhood, we have to respect the women, whether she is my younger sister, my elder sister, my mother, my wife, my relative, my neighbor, or an unknown woman on the road, anyone, she is mother to me. It is that attitude that has to be inculcated. Maybe it will not immediately, but we have to slowly train our mind. We have to learn to respect the power, and then the best in the power will come out. I shall, as I told you, this is a very, very difficult challenge in front of all of you. But because you all have come for this convention, that itself shows that you are different than the general youth. At least some spark is already awakened in you. And that is why you have come here. You knew, it's not that you did not know, that if you come here, you have to get up early in the morning, you have to sit quite long, there will be meditation, there will be this, there will be that, and yet you have subjected yourself to all this difficult schedule because you want to really do something different. You have that spark in you. And therefore, I am keeping this thought of Swami Vivekananda in front of you, that it is not only our own personal life, that is too little a thing. Swamiji said, it's not even making India great, that is too smaller an aim. India has to guide the whole world, and it is for that India has to come up. Now when we say guide the whole world means, if it is in computer, if it is in space technology, missile technology, the world is also progressing, we will also progress. We are not going to guide the world in that. What we want to guide the world is how to balance, the material life with the spiritual life. How to balance it. How to balance, the personal growth with the collective growth, the harmony in our larger existence. It is that what we have to guide the world. How the family life, how the social life, how the educational system, how the commerce, everything, even the political system should be based on oneness. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. The Vedanta should become practical. That oneness should be practiced in life. So a family based on oneness, what does it mean? When I address the young couples, I tell them, you want a working wife? Fine. Now she is working, she goes. She goes, she works, she comes back home in the evening, you also come back, and then you tell, oh, I am very tired. She has also worked, you have also worked. If really it is based on oneness, you will understand this, and then you will tell, okay, today I will take care. You will start helping in household work. You will not say, okay, no, house you should take care, family, your job also you should take care, the studies of children also you should take care. We will not be like that. If oneness is there, the atmiyata, that is the feeling for others is there. Suppose I have a pain in one knee, then when I have to walk, the other knee will take the load. So same way, this family life based on oneness in today's context, how it will be. In olden days, the functions were different, that was fine. Today, how it will be? We have to work for it, we have to think for it, we have to be sensitive to it, we have to discover, we have to develop, we have to establish certain norms in family life. How educational system based on oneness will be. So this is what all the great challenges are there in front of us to make Vedanta, that is the vision of oneness, practical in life. And it is in that context, the empowerment of women becomes very important, because by nature she is a mother, and the mother connects, she sees all as her own. And therefore, a woman, Indian woman, has to give the leadership to the women of the whole world. And she is endowed with both the wisdom today, the worldly wisdom as well as the cultural strength, the cultural attitude. And that is the question I am putting in front of all of you, whether we can rise to the occasion. And as I told you, I will conclude it with one incident, from Sri Ramakrishna's life. In one of the youth convention only, one youth had asked me question. He told me, please tell me whether a woman is good or bad. Tell in one word. His question was, tell in one word whether a woman is good or bad. I told, it is in your eyes, whether she is good or bad. And then I gave him the incident from the life of Sri Ramakrishna. You know, Sri Ramakrishna was so much in sadhana and so much lost in sadhana. Everywhere he was seeing mother. So sometimes while doing worship, he will put the garland in his neck first, then he will put in Kali's neck. Or first he will offer prasada, then he will do abhisheka. Because everything had become one for him. And always singing Ma Ma, thinking of her. So Mathur Babu, who was the trustee of that temple, he was a worldly man. So in his own way, he thought that this Ramakrishna is young, his wife is not with him. In his own way, he was thinking. So he thought that he should be brought down to the earth, and therefore I shall take him to a prostitute. He decided to take Sri Ramakrishna to a prostitute, and he took Sri Ramakrishna to a prostitute's house. And Sri Ramakrishna went because Mathur Babu called, so he went. Then when they sat in that prostitute's room, whatever it is, as in those days was the practice, first they will sing or dance or whatever, and she is doing all her bodily movements and singing, and Ramakrishna is watching. Mathur Babu is watching Ramakrishna, what is happening. First he was thinking Ramakrishna may get angry or whatever it is, but he is watching. Then he thought, oh, whatever he thought is working. That's what Mathur Babu thought. And this prostitute, she is singing. When all her song and everything was over, you know what Sri Ramakrishna told? He told, Mother, what all forms you take, really? What all forms you take? In what all ways you come? When he said that, in that prostitute eyes, tears came. She said, first time somebody is calling me mother, seeing me beyond my body, seeing my motherhood. You know, she is a prostitute. He was taken to a prostitute, and still he sees only the Jagat Janani there. So a woman is neither good or bad. She is a power, but she should realize that she is Shubha Shakti and express that Shubha qualities in her, and it is the men who should see the mother in her. It is that alone can really bring the great security and the great positive change in our social atmosphere today. Thank you.
Swami Vivekananda says, if you do not raise the women who are living embodiment of Divine Mother, don't think that you have any other way to rise. That country, that nation, which do not respect women, have never become great, nor will ever be in future. The background of these sayings of Swami Vivekananda under the topic empowerment of women in the light of Swami Vivekananda's messages, this Jagat Janani highlighted the interconnectivity of a human being with the universe and the purpose of one's life, the role of both men and women in empowering the present status of women. We bow our head to respect her with pranams and thanks for her wonderful lecture on empowerment of women. Thank you, Madam. I now request Swami Mangalatmananji Maharaj to present a memento to Susri Nivedita Bide.